Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, happy New Year, Merry Christmas. Whatever you celebrate, have a beautiful and happy evening. Hope you had a fantastic day and Christmas. God bless you all and thank you for watching. Hit subscribe every day at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Expect a video on this channel on YouTube, 8 a.m. every day. That's set in stone. So just set your dial, and when you're driving to work or having coffee or breakfast, you can watch H.A. Goodman on YouTube at 8 a.m. You'll definitely get a YouTube segment. And that's important because I do want people to get into a schedule on this channel. So one time that's set in stone is 8 a.m. To my super chat, thank you so very much. Fall V. Pollard, Bernard Sanders, thanks you. Thank you so very much, Fall V. And to my super chat, if you want to give me your thoughts on any topic via super chat, greatly appreciated. I cannot do this without you. Eric Samurai, tough it out. Hello. Love trucks. Everybody here. Kristen, Indy, everyone here, Law 2258, everyone here, thanks so very much. Like I said, God bless you all. Have a safe, happy holiday season, happy new year, and it's around the corner. The next 2 years will be fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. They really will be exciting. They will be a paradigm changing moment in American politics. The days where nothing's ever going to happen. Nothing's ever going to happen. Jesus, hello. The days where nothing's ever going to happen are over. And you have a paradigm shift. The pendulum is swinging, ladies and gentlemen, back to sanity. Um, Democrats or media or the left might say insanity, but you have the House of Representatives as Trump Republican. You have Elon Musk bringing free speech back to Twitter. No, it is not right for government agencies. No, it is not right. Before we get into the Twitter Files Part 9, G. Corber, hello to the members on this channel. Thank you so very much. It is not right. Free Thinker, hello. It is not right. Feliz Navidad, thank you. For government to get involved in free speech. You can have, you know, interesting sounding names. You can have departments that protect the public from information that misinforms, but there's a political motivation. So you had one Democrat who tried to disparage Matt Taibbi and the other journalists who broke this story, saying, well, there's nothing wrong. The Bureau just uh, informs the many companies of information from other countries that misinforms. The Bureau, the FBI wasn't doing that. It was going after and silencing, along with Twitter, conservative pundits, voices, thoughts, feelings, viewpoints, opinions. This is a First Amendment violation. This cannot happen. This simply cannot happen. When you have the First Amendment protecting people's speech, protecting speech from government involvement, restrictions, or involvement by the government to curtail speech, political or any other types of speech. Now, there's a little bit of a different story when you're talking about parents, for example, in Florida. Okay, that is the prerogative or viewpoint of parents who don't want children to read certain books. That has nothing to do with banning speech. That has to do with societal values. That has to do with what some people consider appropriate, for a specific age range, or inappropriate. This is about silencing a story about Hunter because it leads to bribery and graft. That's why Joe lied. Joe lied about meeting Hunter's business associates. Why did he lie? And Falvey Pollard, thank you again. Thank you again to my super chat. Thank you so very, very much. I appreciate your support greatly. I can't do it without you. So, why did he lie? Why did he lie about meeting uh, Hunter's business associates? Hunter was on airplanes with Joe flying to business deals. So a couple of publications said, oh, it's information that misinforms. It's conspiratorial. Nobody buys this nonsense. Okay, misinformation is a euphemism for an opposing viewpoint. Okay, they can say false information. They wouldn't dare say false information. Notice they don't say false information. Why don't they say it's false? Why don't they say it's lies? It's not true. None of this is true about Hunter. Because it's about suspicion. It's about emotion. All of this propaganda is about emotion. It's a battle for feelings and thoughts and views and hearts and minds. It's not about graft, felonies, selling out the country to enrich yourself, to increase your political standing. Okay, you're a better politician if you have more money, and you acquire that money through the government and through politics. That's why Trump came in like a bulldozer, a wrecking ball. And he doesn't need, like, Trump never needed politics. That's why they despise Trump. He doesn't need politics. He doesn't revere politics. He doesn't care about it. And he just doesn't, that's the thing. American Girl, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, HA, and everyone in the chat. Buckle up. It's going to be an insane year. I think it's going to be, American Girl, a fantastic year. I really do. I really, really do. It is going to be an amazing year. And I think that people understand, there are enough people in this country that understand, once impeachment starts rolling, once we get impeachment, Falvey Pollard, American Girl, once they impeach Biden and they release all of those emails, because Jim Jordan, James Comer have already stated they're going to release all of those emails, you're going to have a whole bunch of, they're going to have a very difficult time bottling up the truth. And that's what they're really good at. American Girl, thank you so much. They're really good at bottling up the truth. They're really good at preventing discussion about the truth. It is not appropriate. It is not it's un-American for government agencies to influence media. That should not happen ever. It should not happen with Twitter. It shouldn't happen with the Washington Post, and it shouldn't happen with the New York Times, but it does. Especially with the Washington Post and New York Times, CNN, especially. There's a reason that everyone obsesses over Trump. Now, again, Trump doesn't make his life easy, but he's a bulldozer. Let's just read this. And to my super chat, thank you, American Girl and Falvey Pollard, as always. Thank you both. Twitter files. Twitter and other government agencies. Really quickly, Twitter files author Matt Taibbi slams Dem congressman after accusations of trying to deceive Americans. Do you understand that Democrats, when they're caught, will never admit to corruption or wrongdoing or unethical behavior? Do you understand that? They're impervious. They're impervious to basic logic and reasoning. It's the cognitive dissonance for many Democratic pundits or voters is impenetrable. It's already been revealed that everything you thought about Twitter is true. Every conspiratorial theory was actually true, Elon Musk tweeted. And then they double down and they say, well, of course, the Federal Bureau of Investigation was working with Twitter to silence Republicans or conservatives or ban Trump. By the way, they didn't even have a reason to ban Trump. He technically didn't even break their guidelines. And other heads of state did far worse. That's why also, like, when you hear like one of the journalists who were very courageous woman, really wonderful. She was just wonderful in breaking the story along with Matt Taibbi and other journalists. But you have this when Elon Musk banned or suspended a Washington Post reporter, a New York Times reporter, then people said, "Well, this isn't right. This is just like what they were doing with Dorsey and the trust and safety team before Elon Musk purchased it. What's going on here?" No, it wasn't. It was nothing like what happened, and Elon Musk shouldn't have reinstated them so quickly, just with a poll. They were trying to torment him and put his life in danger. That's very different from covering up a story. So here, really quickly, you have Elon Musk, Matt Taibbi, Schellenberger are deceiving you with their misleading. Do you know what the word misleading means? Do you know what the word misleading means? That is a subjective statement. To mislead, Mr. Falconham, hello. Um, to mislead is subjective. To misinform. Do you understand the semantics here? It's such a vapid attempt at trying to mitigate the obvious corruption. Like to what they're trying to do is quell or suppress emotions detrimental to them while at the same time um, amplify any suspicion amplify any suspicion against Trump or Trump Republicans. So when you have this Democratic congressman saying, here's the truth. The Federal Bureau of Investigation Foreign Influence Task Force does threat indicator sharing with companies. Rob White, morally superior, highly indoctrinated, not educated. Exactly. That's true. That's true. That's highly indoctrinated. That's true. Do you understand? Thank you, Rob. To my super chat, thank you. The influence task force has to be invited. Okay, that's number one. Love trucks. HA with a crazy year. Hello, 2023. Yes. In 2023 is going to be a lot better and even nuttier, but a lot better in terms of our political vantage point because the corruption, well, FTX alone is an impeachable offense for Biden. You don't take $5 million from a corrupt, defunct, bankrupt crypto fund. We'll get to that. I mean, that's endless. That's endless. Um, but love trucks. Thank you. The Foreign Influence Task Force has to be invited. The Federal Bureau is like a vampire almost. Like a government agency you have to invite. Okay, so Twitter utilizes a pretext. They utilized a pretext. Indicator sharing with companies. Again, this is not necessarily the truth or objective. You can have a government agency that could be wrong. Furthermore, when the opponents of the Democratic Party are always targeted or viewed as having the same viewpoint as foreign adversaries, we are in now Soviet and communist territory. When you are accusing your political opponents of having the same viewpoint as your adversaries, and you have redefined national security as assuming that any viewpoint contrary to your own is a viewpoint that helps the enemy, We are basically in Stalin and Soviet, you know, this kind of Soviet type of era. It's a very communist thing to do. It's a very McCarthy era type of thing to do. That's what a demagogue, that's what a tyrant does. Companies decide what to do with that information. No, they don't. Companies don't decide what to do with that information. Companies are influenced. The interesting thing is that Democrats think there is zero political influence to government agencies and their involvement within platforms like Twitter, or there's zero political motivation. There's a political motivation here. What's the political motivation? Well, you have people at that agency and other government agencies who despise Trump. And so they influence these government agencies, and the influence is beware of certain speech, beware of certain viewpoints, watch out for certain ideas. These ideas could be the work of another country, don't you know? Well, there's no proof of that. This is an assessment. Rocky Balboa, thank you. This is an assessment that happens to always back up a viewpoint that, you know, coincidentally happens to always bolster the Democratic Party's political ideology. So Taibbi wrote, Congressman, why is a foreign influence task force sending Excel spreadsheets full of joke tweets from low follower accounts in Maryland, Kentucky, and Ohio? What does the Bureau spend so much time reviewing domestic speech? And then the files show Bureau acting as a doorman to a vast program of social media surveillance and censorship, encompassing agencies across the federal government, from the State Department to the Pentagon and intelligence. So I'm wondering if he responded to that. So there you go. Here's the template. The template is that the Democrats will address the wrongdoing, say it happened, and it happened for a just purpose. End of story. They'll leave it at that. And do you understand also the people who consider themselves communists or socialists on the far left would never want to live in a communist country, but they feel that this type of government involvement benefits their cause. So they're fine with it. Do you understand that this is a vapid way of, it would be the equivalent of, your wife asking your wife where the remote control was and blaming her for losing the remote control because it benefited the neighbor, or I don't even know what the like an analogy would be. Like, you have a situation where they're accusing Republicans of viewpoints that adversaries around the world benefit from, when in reality they're marketing Republican ideology or value system or viewpoint as detrimental to national security, and they've done that since 2016. It's the equivalent here. It's the equivalent of you being in bed. Donnie B, Donnie B, thank you. Thank you for becoming a member, Donnie B. To the members on this channel, thank you. Here's an example that I've used before. Donnie B, thank you so much. Thank you for becoming a member. It's the equivalent of your wife finding you in bed with the entire Hawaiian Tropic um, supermodel team and then saying, the only reason you found out is because the neighbor told you. So therefore, it's not that I'm in bed with the Hawaiian Tropic, bikini team. It's that the neighbor told you. So how dare you? You should apologize to me for um, enjoying myself in our bed with all of these wonderful people. Alan Harkin, excellent presentation and entertaining too. It's an embarrassment of riches. It is, Alan. Thank you so very much. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you and Happy New Year, Alan. Thank you so very, very much. Adrian Rosario. Love your stuff. Merry Christmas, H. All the best to you in the new year. Thank you. Thank you so very much, Adrian Rosario. Merry Christmas to you and Happy New Year, Adrian. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Merry Christmas to everybody. Alan, Adrian, Donnie B. Thank you so much. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Imagine Adrian, Alan, Donnie, everybody here. Imagine you have a significant other. Your significant other happens to be a wonderful woman who is a great wife, and she finds you in bed with Victoria's Secret supermodels. Imagine. And you're not playing Monopoly, you're doing something else. And you are in your bedroom, your wife's bedroom with with 5 or 6 of the most beautiful Victoria's Secret supermodels and Hawaiian Tropic supermodels, and so you're there, and your wife, and you're not playing Monopoly, you're doing something else. And your wife opens the door and says, "The neighbor told me you were here, and you were in our bed with all of these beautiful women doing something other than playing Monopoly. How dare you?" And then the Democratic Party comes involved, and then the husband says, "You know what? Ever wonder why our Russian neighbor told you to open the door?" These are the Twitter files here. And then the wife says, "What? What are you talking about?" Yeah, he's from Moscow, okay? And he wanted you to find this out. So it's not the fact that I've been cheating on you with 8 of the most beautiful women on the planet. It's because of our Russian neighbor and him wanting to know. Therefore, this information is misinforming you. Indy Joy! Indy Joy, thank you. Thank you, Indy. Greatly appreciated. Indy, Adrian, Alan, Donnie B, thank you. Would that fly? Would you be able to say that the neighbor from Moscow is misinforming you? That really, when you opened the door and you saw us doing things in the bedroom, the fact that somebody told you this, that's the problem. Don't you understand? It behooves the neighbor, who likes you, by the way. Yeah, the neighbor has the hots for you, and he's from Moscow. But you're in our bed. What does it matter who told us? No, 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 no. The truth of what's going on, the DNC emails, Twitter files, the truth of what's going on isn't the real issue. The real issue is how you found out. Ladies, just I'm speaking to my wife, and she'll apologize to you now. Apologize to these wonderful ladies, honey. That's how media and the Democratic Party work. You're at fault for finding out how corrupt they are. Don't you understand? Don't you understand how things are? Your lying eyes are misinforming you. You don't understand. You're being suspicious for no reason. Why are you suspicious? I mean, Hunter is an obvious conduit running graft and bribery schemes with Joe, but why are you suspicious? You can't prove anything. But with Trump, something happens on Jupiter or Mars or whatever, and oh my God, it's his fault. And he did organize January. He was a Kremlin operative. Mr. Falcon Lamb, why couldn't we give Z citizenship now? It's obvious his government will be coming here soon. That's interesting. Well, that would be interesting. Mr. Falcon Lamb. That would be interesting. That's a terrible situation, Mr. Falcon Lamb. It's that is a situation where you have a proxy battle, and we want that proxy battle to continue because we believe it suits our national interest. It actually doesn't suit our not the way I see national interest. It some kind of peace or settlement, um, whether it's a stalemate or whether there's carnage and I mean, why? Yes, of course, there are a number of, I mean, Z himself and, you know, factions within his government want to continue the fight. The problem is there are nuclear implications, number one. Number two, how long can you expect a smaller country to battle a larger one? How long can you expect? How long can anyone expect a smaller nation to battle a larger nation? Just sending money and arms, that I mean, there's like you can't expect a smaller country to continually and forever battle a larger country. I don't understand that philosophy from the morally superior on the left. Mr. Falkenham, thank you so very, very much. Even Emmanuel Macron, others tried to negotiate some type of peace deal. But here, where was I? So let's get started. So, after weeks of Twitter files reports detailing close coordination between the Bureau and Twitter in moderating social media content, the Bureau issued a statement Wednesday. It didn't refute allegations. Instead, it decried conspiratorial theorists publishing information that misinforms, whose sole aim is to discredit the agency. Again, honey, you're just trying to make me look bad. That's all you're doing. You're just trying to make me look bad by opening that door and finding out what I'm doing. How dare you discredit? How dare you try to impugn and disparage my pristine track record? They were up to no good. They had a political motive and they were caught. We didn't know about this, but now we do. This was all self-preservation with legalized freedom. Thank you. Merry Christmas. This was all self-preservation with Elon Musk. It was self-preservation. It was simply self-preservation. And um, Elon Musk knew that eventually Twitter would be used against him. Now he should buy the Washington Post because the Washington Post might be up for sale according to numerous reports. Trump should buy the Washington Post. I don't know if they would ever you know if they would ever allow him to buy it, but Musk should buy the Washington Post for like it was purchased for $250 million in 2013. Just buy it for like 3 billion. It's probably 10, 15 times what it's worth, but buy it for 3 billion. Say it's an offer you can't refuse, and you have the Washington Post now and Twitter. And so Democrats will not have two of the three most important media outlets that are basically newsletters: New York Times, Washington Post, and Twitter. That would be amazing. Legalize freedom. Thank you, legalize freedom. Thank you. Thank you, legalize freedom. Greatly appreciated. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas, legalize freedom. Al and everybody here. Adrian, thank you. Donnie B, thank you. Indy, thank you. Mr. Falkenham, thank you. Yeah, I mean, he should buy the Washington Post. Elon Musk, if he does, I think that he must be thinking about buying the Washington Post as well. He probably has his hands full with Twitter, but I don't know if the Washington Post is worth $1 billion or $2 billion. It was purchased for 250 million in 2013. around there, and then it's actually losing money now. They lost like 500,000 paid customers. So um he should definitely buy the Washington Post. That would be amazing. And put in a couple of Trump supporters there. My God, it wouldn't hurt the country. And he only had 70 plus million Americans vote for Trump, so I think that's a big problem. Donnie B. If a government agency can be discredited by social media, then it lacked credibility to begin with. Exactly. Exactly. Excellent point, Donnie. Excellent point. Exactly. See, again, this is, honey, what are you doing? Are you trying to disparage me? You're trying to make me look stupid by opening the door as I cheat on you with 8 gorgeous women? How dare you? It's never about the truth of the accusation. It's always, interestingly enough, it's always the political motivation of those finding out corruption than the actual corruption itself. Isn't that interesting? What was the political motivation for um, why the bureau even worked with the with Twitter? Why did they even work with Twitter? What was the point? What was the point? The point was they had a political objective. Also, saying that the political objective coincides with the Democratic Party and never Trump Republicans, and therefore that means it's correct, is not logical at all. I would say stupid, but that's how the morally superior address their arguments. So it's not logical, it's illogical and irrational. National security has literally nothing to do with what benefits the Democratic Party. Nothing. There might be some crossover or correlation here and there, but the Democratic Party is a political party. Its political objectives oftentimes harm national security. It has nothing to, and the same with the Republican National Committee also. Same with the Republican, the legalized freedom. Thank you again, Donnie B. Thank you. What is beneficial to political parties or even government agencies has nothing to do with national security. Now you can redefine national security as information that misinforms, but you would be doing that only for a political party. Nobody cares anymore about saying that Trump lied. People care about the economy, foreign policy, both of which are a catastrophe, and they care about kickbacks and corruption within the US government, and they care about free speech. Elon Musk has brought free speech back to Twitter. We know this because now all the attempts at silencing others are being justified by those who would silence others. Instead of saying, okay, you caught us, the rebuttal is, of course we did. That's the way government agencies work. That's the way platforms work. So it's this circular logic. We censored you because that's the way things work. But why do things work that way? Well, because we had to censor you to make them work. But why did you censor us? Because that's the way things work. It's just power. It's just, look, it is an arm wrestling match that slowly Trump, Elon Musk, DeSantis, they're slowly winning. An arm wrestling match. It's just an arm wrestling match. Mr. Falcon, it's time for you to return to Twitter, HA. We need your alternative voice added to the discourse. Rob White, see my message above. Uh, um, Mr. Falcon Lim, thank you so much. People have told me that, and it's something that I've thought about actually, but here's why I can't at this moment, Mr. Falcon Lim. Here's why I can't. I would spend too much time on Twitter. I would spend too much time pointing out hypocrisy, potentially defending myself from absurd claims. Mad Cow Mark, Merry Christmas to you. Rob, I'm trying to see what you wrote. I can't see the message that you had written. Real deal. Hello, Mr. Falcon Limb. It's tempting, but here's why, Mr. Falcon Limb, I can't do it. Is because this year I'm going to try to grow this channel a lot more. I'm going to try to grow H.A. Goodman's other channel. I'm going to try to grow the stock market crash channel. Mr. Falcon Limb, thank you. I'm going to try to actually maybe go on some other platforms as well. It took me a long time to find the 8 o'clock, like at 8 o'clock every day, 8 o'clock in the morning, a.m. Pacific time. You will have everybody a segment on H.A. Goodman every single morning. So it's tempting, but at the same time, it's like, you know what? It would be like going back to high school. It would be like going back to high school, which was I had a fun time in high school, but it would be like going to back to it would be going to a dysfunctional high school. Let's put it that way. It's true, indie, but then it would just I would spend so much time. It would be too much time. Um, Also, I noticed it doesn't really correlate to 2019 was a good year for this channel, and that was the first full year I didn't have Twitter. The file showed that the Bureau acting as a doorman to vast program of social media surveillance and censorship encompassing agencies across the federal government, from the State Department to the Pentagon. The operation is far greater than the reported 80 members of a foreign influence task force. A wide array of smaller actors from local police to media to state governments. My God. Twitter had so much contact with so many agencies that executives lost track. Is today the DOD, tomorrow the Bureau? Is it weekly call or monthly meeting? It was dizzying. So, I mean, it's all evidence that you had immense. We can go through each one, but it's all evidence. Twitter executives noticed the Bureau appeared to be assigning personnel to look for Twitter violations or people who broke Twitter protocol. So there you go. There you go. It's unbelievable too. Toughen out. Musk did indeed buy a crime scene. He did. He did because he knew that it would be used against him. You can't have government agencies silencing speech. And you can't have government agencies silencing speech because it's national security. That is not national security. That has nothing to do with national security. You know, you would have to think of the American public as a bunch of imbeciles who can't differentiate right and wrong if you think that information from another country that misinforms is national security. You have no clue. You have no evidence that the Kremlin wanted Trump because they infiltrated the DNC to inform the country Bernie Sanders was cheated. There's no evidence there. Where's the evidence? A lot of people agree with it. Where's the evidence? I read the publicly available ODNI and DHS report. It comes with assessments and warranty disclaimers. Well, it's only confidence. There you go. This is what happened with Stalin, communist countries, the totalitarians of the 30s and 40s. Tough it out, exactly. And then Twitter officials here, yet behind the scenes, Twitter executives uh, struggled against government claims of interference. Well, because there wasn't any interference. Because there never is. The interference is the truth. And who comes to save the day? Democrats and government agencies to silence the truth. It is never about. It was never about national security. This has nothing to do with national security. This is one political party with tentacles or with a labyrinth, a Byzantine labyrinth of influence and loyalists within numerous agencies. We know this, that they're basically like, we have their text message, will stop Trump. In a couple of years, ladies and gentlemen, looking at Elon Musk, I'm going to get a Doberman in about 2 to 3 years. I really want a Doberman. If you've had Dobermans before, let me know. I think they're beautiful, awesome, very intelligent dogs. Great guard dogs, which is what I like too. No real matches using info, trust, and safety. So there you go. So this is all about trying desperately, and still, with all of this endless work, and we have more. Watch Barry Weiss, Schellenberger, and Li Fong, and this space for more on issues ranging from and more. So thank you. That'll be nice. Thank you. And so you have a desperate attempt, Mr. Falcon Lamb. Stalin got his start as a bank robber. Now the big man does it by bipartisan bills. Exactly. Well, that when you have the omnibus bill is an example of a Republican Party run by Mitch McConnell, not run by Mitch McConnell, but a Republican Party that has not been transformed into the House of Representatives, a Republican House of Representatives yet. So that bill would have looked very different had, people say Kevin McCarthy. If Kevin McCarthy was Speaker of the House, or Andy Biggs, or what I'm saying is, once Trump Republicans take over the House of Representatives, and you're not going to have that type of thing anymore. You're not going to have that type of thing anymore. And you can impeach. The impeachment's going to be, here's the impeachment, okay? Here's the impeachment. Impeachment is right here. He lied about meeting. This is a fact. He lied about meeting Joe Biden. Well, Joe Biden lied about meeting Hunter's business associates. End of story. End of story. End of story. That's the impeachment right there. Why did he lie? You can't, I mean, you have the 150 financial transactions that were investigated by banks, deemed very concerning and troubling. You have Hunter under criminal investigation now. So, you have a situation where Mr. Falconlem, once they once they have that the Republican House of Representatives impeachment, you're going to have a completely different ball game. Even Mitch McConnell will have to get on board. Texas Ranger, hello, Merry Christmas. Dolly B, I agree. So emails reveal Hunter introduced businessman to dad, but here you have a situation where how can you use your influence on the company's behalf? Advice on how you can use your influence. Game over. It's right there. Then, when he forced out a prosecutor, There were publications saying, well, that prosecutor, everyone thought, no, wrong, it wasn't U.S. foreign policy. When was the last time we forced out a prosecutor in any country? It's not for the United States to decide whether a prosecutor in another country is doing his job. It's not foreign policy, my God. I mean, the cognitive dissonance is impenetrable. It's impenetrable. They will never admit they can have their hand in the cookie jar. They can have their pants down, literally. Oh, don't bring that up. They will never admit. Clinton lied under oath before ever admitting. What is. I mean, if you, I've read Kafka and Rousseau and John Locke and all the philosophers. I'm going to ask you a question. What is? Immanuel Kant. Of course, we can say his name correctly, but we won't at this time. What is? This is the Clintonian Democratic Party. They will never admit. And then they say, well, Trump did worse. What did he do? What is he supposed to admit to? Being a Kremlin operative who tried to overthrow the country? He didn't do these things. But Hunter did Hunter did meet with Joe. Big Moine is he. Hello. Tammy, hello. So you have you have actual like you have actual like you have Biden literally saying you will not get $1 billion in loan guarantees unless you do this. That was very specific. And Trump could have very simply said, "Oh, there are a lot of people who are suspicious of Biden, so I wanted to go ahead and have him investigated." What's the problem with that? Because now we found out that Hunter's under criminal investigation anyway. So what was the problem with asking another country? That's what they did with Trump for the past 7 years. All they did was work with other countries to try to find dirt on Trump. The Steele dossier was completely fabricated. None of this is. This is Hunter's actual emails. It's right there. They don't ever read the actual emails. And then you have these endless articles. Well, you really shouldn't be suspicious. You can't prove anything. It's like, well, read the emails. Read the emails. So, but here, this is one that the House of Representatives could easily impeach Biden on. Find out about the $1 billion that could have been given to Democrats. Find out about the $1 billion. Just find out about the $1 billion. That's all you need to do. You have a judge recusing herself in New York. Okay? You have a judge recusing herself in New York. I mean, are you kidding? Are you kidding? You talk about tentacles or networks or Byzantine labyrinths, a Byzantine labyrinth of corruption and criminality. He's out on bail because he gave $250 million that wasn't even his. He stole all that money and then gave all that money, possibly $1 billion. We know 70 million to the Democratic Party. Paul Bartlett, hello. So, I mean, you have a judge recusing herself. What are the chances the judge votes Democrat? What are the chances the husband's firm is works with Democrats in the Southern District of New York? These are the people going after Trump, and they have to recuse themselves because of ties to Sam Bankman-Fried. Could you imagine if Bernie? See, there was a time when nobody wanted to be associated with Bernie Madoff. Those times are over now, I guess. To be a Democrat, in many cases, it's like a religion. It's like a religion now. So you're not going to have FTX, you're not going to have Twitter, and you will get impeachment. So you will get impeachment. And when they impeach, they'll say it's a fake and phony impeachment. They'll say the Russians want impeachment. Kremlin wants impeachment. They're going to say that it's a phony, fake impeachment that only helps another country. But he lied about meeting his business. Oh, and there's money flow. And then 10% to the big man. Then there's a rebuttal. It's like, well, there's no record of it. But what is. Yeah, that's where the graft and the corruption. What do you think they're going to write? We're going to give 10% to Joe Biden because we are engaging in graft, signed Hunter and other Democrats. But the emails show this. And there are witnesses saying, yeah, there are kickbacks. And even it's funny too, because you have one person who was like, oh, kickbacks, no big deal. Kickbacks. What's the big problem? It's like, yeah, it's a pretty big problem. Pretty big problem. Then you have Daily Trump calls himself clarifying unhinged Christmas message. Oh, Trump, he's eating Christmas alive. Trump. So the USA is okay. So please, can we get yes? We got Truth Social. What's up? Finally. Let me go ahead and bookmark this. Okay, so here on this very cold and beautiful Christmas day, look at our nation now and compared to only a short time ago, the Trump administration, we had the most secure in history versus a horror show that's taking place, that's happening now. Right, people? And so you have President Trump here. Trump was 233 and 22, and he's also leading by a lot. See, okay, here's the thing. He's right. He's doing tremendously well on paper, but he has to make peace with the Arizona and Georgia Republican parties. He has to make peace with them. He has to make peace with them. He must make peace with the Georgia and Republican parties, the Georgia and Arizona Republican parties. He must make peace with them. Otherwise, they will do everything possible to undermine Trump. He has to, there has to be some effort. Oh, Mad Cow Mark, I didn't realize that. Okay. Okay, I will correct that. So apparently it wasn't 250 million bail. It was the $2 million home they put up. Okay. So, I will correct that. Mad Cow Mark, thank you. So you have here, okay. See, this is also like, this is very good. You know, it's good, yes. It's good that he's telling the world this, but it's good that he's telling the world this, but he cannot just leave it to Truth Social. He has to, he has to, um, stop, listen, think, thank you. He has to make peace with the Georgia and Arizona Republican parties. He has to make peace with them. Otherwise, it's just nothing's going to work. This is only. This is... Merry Christmas to everyone, including the radical left Marxists. Ah! See, nobody gets the beauty in this. They're trying to destroy our country. The bureau that is illegally coercing and paying social and mainstream media to push for a over the brilliant, clairvoyant, and USA loving Donald J. Trump, and of course the Department of Justice, which supported a special prosecutor together, can't stand Trump more than any person on earth. Love to all. Ah, ah. This is good, okay? It's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's funny. It's funny, but at the same time, you have to. It is amusing. It's amusing. Yes, it's true. It is amusing. Okay? Don't think that. I find Trump more amusing and funnier than a lot of comedians nowadays, and I really do. Okay? He just has to find a way. Al, hello. He just has to find a way, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, we have 678 viewers. Be here tomorrow and every morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time. 8 a.m. Pacific time. Um, I will have a YouTube video every morning forever on this channel at 8 a.m. Pacific time. And I'm going to try to perhaps find some other times for H.A. Goodman's other channel as well. MP, thank you. But here, um, let's just do a poll right here. Um, do you think Trump needs to alter his communication style a bit to reach independence? This is a question, ladies and gentlemen. Betty, hello. Everybody here, hello. Love trucks, that's true, but they're the ones who they will in a game of chicken, they're willing to lose to the Democrat. Do you think Trump needs to alter his communication style a bit to reach independence? I'll give you my once we get to 80 votes, Rob White. HA, your Tubi is censoring my yes, that happens, Rob. It does. There are things that unfortunately, like there is censorship within the message board or the sorry live chat. Let it go, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think Trump needs to alter his communication style a bit to reach independence? So I'll read this again. I mean, it's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. I find it amusing myself, but see, Merry Christmas to everyone, including the radical. Including the radical left Marxists that are destroying our country. The Bureau is legally coercing and paying social and mainstream media to push for a mentally distinct. Over a brilliant, he is clairvoyant. He pretty much called everything. And USA loving Donald J. Trump. And of course, Department of Injustice. Oh, I didn't get that. The Department of Injustice. Which appointed a special prosecutor who, together with his wife, hates Trump more than. Okay, so love to all. It's fantastic. But I just, you know, Teresa King. Washington's new name should be the Untouchables. Realistically, that's what it is. To an extent. To an extent. Teresa King. To an extent, that's true. To an extent, that's true. So I think that we have 70 votes already. 40 to 60, 40 yes, 60 no. I think he does. I agree, Eric Samurai. I think he does, and here's why, ladies and gentlemen. Here's why, okay? Here's why. Um, he's right. Trump is 100% right about like almost everything he says. The message is being lost though. Do you understand, ladies and gentlemen, that independent voters and almost everybody on the left, basically all Democrat, like half the country, a little over half the elect, a tiny bit, a little over half the electorate likes policies, doesn't care about image. The other half of the electorate only cares about image, only cares about image. That's it. And if he could find a way to speak to independents, if you want to call them normal people, normies, whatever, if you want to call them, people who just care about media, you gotta be able to speak to independents. I find this hilarious. I think he's right. I think he's right. But I think that he has to speak to independents. He has to find a way to speak with them. He has to, when I say regain that electricity, look, here's what I mean. Hold on one second. Let's see if I can find this. I'll do it on another tab here. This is what, okay, so Trump interview, show 2015. Okay. Okay. So this is a Vimeo. See it on Vimeo. But so here, let's go ahead. We'll just do this. Mr. Falkenlam! It will take a super recession of next year to get independence again. That's true, Mr. Falkenlam. That's true. But at the same time, you got to ask yourself, will that even be enough if he doesn't? You see, we had a recession this year, but I get a worse recession is true. Here is Morning Joe too close to Donald Trump. This is where even the Daily Beast was saying, "Oh my God, they're too nice to Trump." Okay, this is where he has to get back to. Lord, this is where he has to get back to. This is a 2017. CNN has been critical of Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski's coverage of Donald Trump. Okay, he was too nice. They were too nice to him. They were too nice to him. This is actually a 2016 article that was updated 2017. That's what has to happen. This is a February 2016 article. Here you see Trump like joking around or pushing or joking around with Joe Scarborough or Mika. I don't know. He's having fun. Voters book low. He's having fun. That's what needs to happen. He needs to get back to this Donald Trump. He needs to be able to show his greatest detractors he's a human being with emotions. Look, there are people who will vote against Trump even though they know it's Trump is the best thing for this country. Again, to the 600 plus viewers on this live stream, there are people, many, many voters who will vote against Trump even though They know that Trump's policies are the best thing for this country. Why? Because they do not see him as a human being. They see him as a monster. They're the ones, they're okay with censorship. They don't care about recession. They don't care about nuclear confrontation in Europe. They don't want his personality. I agree with you, fully, coolly. I agree with you. He has to get back to this Trump. He has to get back to this Trump. He has to he has to be able to show the world that he's a human being, and if he has a grievance, and many of them are justified, he has to be able to get some backing. Could you imagine if the Republican Party just united with Trump and had the same cognitive dissonance, the same circling of the wagons that Democrats do? Could you imagine that? Could you imagine? There'd be no stopping Trump. There'd be no stopping him at all. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. Be here tomorrow at 8 a.m. Be here tomorrow at 8 a.m., ladies and gentlemen, 8 a.m. Pacific time, always at 8 a.m. on this channel for the live stream. I mean, I'm sorry, for the upload YouTube segment. Um, I think that Trump is unstoppable if he could get political backing that he needs. Give me your thoughts below, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Be here tomorrow at 8 a.m. Pacific time for the video. Every morning, 8 a.m. Pacific time. Thanks, everybody. God bless. If you want to become a Patreon, please do so below. It'll be in the pinned comment. Thanks, everybody. God bless you all. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy Hanukkah. Everybody, happy whatever you're celebrating. Have a happy evening. And God bless you. Have a great New Year's as well. See you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Pacific time. As always, set your clocks, ladies and gentlemen. Set your dial every morning to 8 a.m. in the morning. Check the channel whether or not you get a notification at 8 a.m.